done this. Been kind of busy with school, so after this week being as busy as it has, I figured I needed about a 40-minute break, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into some Borderlands 3 this morning. It's just about 10 minutes to 10. I've got class at 11, so we're going to go for about a 40-minute session here and just kind of get through the beginnings of kind of what's going on. So I'm going to try a different character. This is my main. I've been playing with my wife and been loving Zane. Zane's pretty crazy if you like to be a run and gun type player. He has a lot of damage boosts for just being mobile on the battlefield and tying back and forth into his other trees that way. So when you get a kill, you'll move faster. As you're moving faster, it increases the damage that you actually output. So it makes him a lot of fun to have, like assault rifles and SMGs, things of that nature, pistols. But I'm gonna go a different route this morning. Going normal. Cooperation route.
So, you want to hear a story, huh? A tale of adventure across the stars. Come, listen to old Marcus. Have I got a story for you? My tale begins here, on this backwater planet called Pandora. Some say it is a wasteland of greed and violence, and it is. But if you've got skills to pay the bills, Pandora is full of opportunity. Vault Hunters. They brave the merciless borderlands in search of secret alien treasure. My father told me tales of vault hunting when I was but a little Marcus boy. And now, I tell you. So, you ask, what treasures do the vaults hide? Fame? Wealth? Power? Or maybe nonsense like charity or family. I don't know. Use your imagination. Whatever the prize, a Vault Hunter must have the determination to seize victory from the jealous hands of fate. Now, my story is about a very special band of Vault Hunters who have only just started their journey. They are bold and hungry. Maybe old Marcus tells you this story because they remind me of you. Just a little, don't let it go to your head. These new Vault Hunters are answering a siren's call. Her name is Lilith, and she is a hero, savior of Pandora a dozen times over. Lilith is recruiting a team to hunt for a map. A map that leads to vaults all over the galaxy. But she is not the only one. Dark forces have gripped the borderlands. A new threat, unlike anything the galaxy has seen before. My story begins right here on Pandora, with our new Vault Hunters, their siren leader, and, most importantly, me.
They chose a really good theme song for this game. Really like the heavy. I do apologize in advance if the colors seem to be actually running this on HDR, and it can tend to mess around with color schemes, so I'm hoping it's coming out alright.
Everybody's got a lesson to learn. Everybody's got a fire to burn. And when it's
Unfortunately, they haven't added a skip feature yet, so we're not able to skip the cutscene. So, otherwise I probably would for
It's
time's
a
sake.
beautiful day, full of opportunity. So, who's coming?
And that's what I was doing on my phone here just a minute ago. We did a little bit of rolling, and I took the average here. So I rolled a d4 4 times, took the average, and we're looking at flak for my playthrough. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get it started.
New Vault Hunter, huh? Name's Marcus. You picked a hell of a time to join the Crimson Raiders.
Good to see someone survived the attack. I'm Lilith, commander of the Crimson Raiders. Those bandits you fought are part of a cult hunting for the vault map. But you and I are gonna find it first. For now, my scout is waiting for you up ahead. Good luck.
She spoke inside my mind. Strange.
This is your stop, Vault Hunter.
Excellent. The hunt begins.
Try to stay alive. I'd hate to lose a new customer. And welcome to Pandora!
Alright.
Hey, you must be the new recruit. I am a CL4PTP steward bot, but you can just call me General Claptrap of the Crimson Raiders. What's your name?
You are allowed to call me Flak, until I decide if I'm going to kill you.
Thanks. I'll pre-order your tombstone just in case. Now, those jerks who tried to murder you are the Children of the Vault, a bandit cult who follow their creepy leaders with blind devotion. Which reminds me, if you're going to obey my every beck and call, you'll need an echo device. The Echo 3. Slightly more powerful than the Echo 2, and twice as expensive. Besides, the Echo 2 had a tiny issue with spontaneous combustion, so they rebranded those as grenades. Now listen up, recruit. Lilith ordered us to take over a Children of the Vault propaganda center. Time to show those culty weirdos that no one messes with the Crimson Raiders. Follow me, recruit, to glory!
So this is pretty classic. Claptrap has greeted you in every game at the beginning of sections here, and taunted you when you're not going the way he wants you to go. I'm always one that kind of likes to scrounge for things a little bit here in the beginning and just kind of see what's around me, just because. I won't do this too long. It's just good to have a look around every once in a while. This game especially, they've really kind of taken some notes from Destiny and other games that preceded Borderlands as the granddaddy looter shooter, and added in some features like that reward you for exploring, like hidden chests and various other events and things like that. A little further along in the campaign with my other character. I think me and my wife are about halfway through right now. And that's just been in chunks of time where I am not studying
Before we wreak our righteous vengeance,
college
you'll need to register your
calculus
echo
or
at
things
this
like that. So,
quick change. Once we defeat the cult, I'll be famous. And when I'm
as you can see, I've already got some
I need you looking sharp while defending me from my legions
some
of
heads that I found
stalkers.
in the other playthrough in skins. Change my look a little bit. Whoa, that is very loud and very unsettling. I think we'll just stick with the regular configuration for now.
A user agreement?
Ah,
Boring.
Yeah,
The
I'm just gonna
propaganda
hit X.
center is
Skip that.
this
We always skip
way.
the user agreements. Always. Doesn't matter what it is.
Gate! No! This can't be happening! The entire mission is ruined! Think, Claptrap, think! You're brave and powerful, and people always do what you tell them to! That's it! Get that gate open! That's an order from your superior officer!
Pretty easy. Flip the
You
switch.
did it! Best recruit ever! But don't get cocky.
Do ourselves a little slide in here. I'm gonna get ahead of Claptrap, see what happens.
The propaganda center is up ahead.
That's normally your jump tutorial. One thing they did add to the game is that you can now mantle, so
I've got a foolproof plan to kick their culty asses.
it's a little nicer instead of hitting like the invisible wall with your legs and not being able to reach an area and fall to your death. You have one chance to redeem yourself, and that's by mantling. Which is also something Destiny ended up doing in Destiny 2, was adding a mantling feature, so like I said, they paid attention to a lot of the other competition, and they said, what can we do better with our game? What features do they have that are just quality of life improvements for the player that we could adopt? It's kind of cool.
Perfect. Once we complete our mission, Lilith has to promote me to Super General. Stand back!
That was stealth? How have you survived this long?
Relax. On Pandora, it's actually super weird if something's not exploding. Now take your gun, recruit. You're gonna need it. These guns, like myself, aren't beholden to their primary function. I can dance and sing. And some guns now include an alternate shooting mode. Try it out. Follow me, recruit.
So I'm kind of in a very precarious spot down here. The worst part is if I put where I am here on the streaming screen, up in the upper right, then I block my minimap. If I go to the upper left later, I'll block my objectives. If I sit down in the bottom left-hand corner, that's going to prevent me from seeing my life and shield, so I might just take a pause here real quick and actually enable comments so that I can still see my full screen and you guys can still see me, although it's going to kind of scrunch it in this way a little bit, so give me just 1 second. Alright, let's get that going real quick. Alright, that's a little bit better. Although my screen is kind of hunched up, this will make things a lot easier for me to manage.
Wait here. I'll talk my way in, become their king, and then you'll surprise slaughter them in cold blood. Watch and learn, recruit. Hello? Anyone there?
This is Shiv, holy influencer of the children of the vault. What do you want, Crampot?
Hello, bloodthirsty maniac. It is I, Claptrap, Slayer of the Destroyer, and Super General of the Crimson Raiders. We have you completely surrounded. Open the gates now, and perhaps I will be merciful.
Yeah. Let me think about that.
They might call themselves Children of the Vault, but they're still bandits, and bandits are incredibly stupid.
Okay, we're going to surrender. Please don't kill us, Crampot.
That's what I thought. Open the doors immediately for your new king.
Easy. I'm coming out. Just wait right there.
We did it! I did it! Another victory for the Crimson Raiders! Hey, I feel funny. What's happening to me? Ah! Ah! Ow! My front foot!
Alright, well here we get to finally see some gunplay. Things have changed quite a bit. I'll try and
Compositions.
be a little bit stylish about this.
Use this help! I need you alive to save me!
So, yeah, the barricades and things now kind of crumble a little bit, which is interesting.
Feel our power! Many will burn away!
things.
You're gonna be my new chamber bot. I'm gonna boom in your head.
So the important thing in this game is to look around and see the environmental hazards that are on the battlefield, because you can often turn them against your
I know
enemies.
Claptrap can be a little claptrap, but he's still one of us. You're gonna have to save him. I'll be there soon.
By the same token, they can do the same to you, of course, but I thought it was a nice added touch to this one as far as feel goes, that you can add just a little bit more chaos to the battlefield by just paying attention. So, oh, we got ourselves a Jacobs and a Jacobs. That one's got a scope, and that one's kind of it's a 4-shot magazine. You know, I think I'm going to take that one. I know it's doing less damage, but I've actually got the scope, so it's kind of nice. You get a couple more shots with it. So the nice thing with Jacobs is when you actually get a critical hit, the bullets ricochet to the next nearby enemies. Let's see if I can't line this up a little bit here. There we go. Thought I saw one. Yeah, we'll do that. And I saw a guy up there, I thought.
Recruit, there's no
maybe
way
not.
your supple and delicate body can survive a showdown with Shiv unprotected. Look around for a shield.
Okay. So yeah, like I say, natural and environmental hazards are everywhere. You just gotta kind of look for them. The new thing is, like these pipes, if they have a bullseye on them, you can hit them and it'll spill like oil out, for example, and then you can shoot this fire barrel, and it will actually ignite the oil underneath the feet of the enemies. So there's tons and tons and tons of like elemental type things that actually happen, whether it's your own powers or otherwise, that you can exploit to your advantage. So I'm gonna go up here and grab our shield chest. This is our first mission, just like in the other Borderlands games. It's an area objective, so you have a big circle to search around for something. In this case, we're looking for a shield. So we got 8, 105. I think I'm gonna take the green one. Just saying.
Now you're invincible. Not really, but it just might keep Shiv from killing you in one hit. Now let's get you in there, recruit.
Okay.
Hey, Shiv! All your dumb friends are dead. I challenge you to a trial by combat. But because I'm stuck to this magnet, my loyal champion shall vanquish you in my stead.
Come on in, heretic! I haven't met my sacrifice quota for the day!
We're going to use the slide mechanic here, hopefully well. And I'll kind of give you guys
my blade on your spine!
a little more example of how we can use objects in our environment to our advantage. If you're unfamiliar with the game or have never played one, this has not been a thing until now, so... The barrels don't just explode.
It seems the humans
They actually,
on
get out of
Pandora are even more savage than the beasts.
They actually can be kicked or moved.
Score 1 for the Crimson Raiders. You and Claptrap secure the
shotgun
area.
here.
I'm on my way.
Well, this is kind of the cool thing. The Hyperion shotguns and weapons actually put out like a small shield around you while you're wielding them or aiming down
Are
your
you
sights.
dead?
I mean,
If not, get me down. The controls are on the second floor.
but we just leveled up. Now the other new thing about this game that I really appreciate is it used to be that your action skill didn't unlock until level 3, which was something they did in the pre-sequel. Now they've actually made it at level 2. So like just from the get, you're getting to get into your main spec. The neat thing with Flak is not only do we get to choose his action skill, but we get to also choose the pet who's following him around for the game, which is kind of cool. So Flak's got the rack attack, which is basically a really beefed up version of Mordecai's like Sick'em skill with Bloodwing from the first game. Uh, we've got Fadeaway, which turns him invisible, and while you're invisible, the first 3 shots that you make while you're in the cloaked mode don't uncloak you, and they do critical damage no matter what. No matter where you shoot, you always get a critical. And the last one actually buffs up your pet, so it makes your pet really big, and they terrorize the battlefield. So for this playthrough, I think I'm actually going to go with the Fadeaway, and I think I'm going to take the actual monkey pet, because I haven't really messed around with him. He's a monkey with a gun, so it's kind of funny. He just kind of runs around, or jabbers as they're called in this game. So I think that's what we'll kind of do. There's my little buddy. They defaulted him to as Meat Thief, which is hilarious. I don't know why Meat Thief is so entertaining to me. And we'll go let Claptrap down. And we've got about 15 minutes left on this session, so I don't want to waste too much time here. I'm interested to see how this pet kind of works out. My wife is playing Flak, but she's using the Skag, and has been using the buff the Skag thing, so I've kind of gotten an introduction to what that power does. And we're gonna
From what I
Claptrap.
understand of blood, you're doing it wrong.
Wow! I did it! I single-handedly took on the COV and sent them packing. Now all that's left is to signal Lilith that the mission is complete.
Alright, so he's beaming down Lilith. This song will come on over here.
So,
Classic Lilith.
Lilith, I can safely report that Operation Trojan Claptrap was a complete success. I did it all by myself.
I'll bet. Well, the cult's destroyed every other Crimson Raider stronghold, so this'll have to do for now. So what's your name, killer?
I am Flak, and your voice was in my head. Explain yourself.
Yeah, about that. Not the weirdest thing you're gonna see on Pandora. But seriously, thanks for answering my call.
That's
You
the
might not
other
have
new
the
thing
numbers,
is you
but
can
with a
see
badass
that they've
like
actually
you,
added
we got a
weight
fighting
to the
chance.
guns,
Welcome to
and
the
your
Crimson
Vault Hunter
Raiders.
is slightly unsteady.
Pandora's a dangerous
You have
place.
some weapon
That grenade
sway
mod
now.
will come in handy. You should equip
The other
it before
games
we get
didn't
started.
have weapon
Let me know
sway.
when you're ready.
I'll equip it another time.
It's your funeral.
Did not realize we had a grenade mod.
Hey, do you hear bloodthirsty screaming?
More COV. Let's see what you got, recruit.
There's too many of them!
Alright, so let's go ahead and give you a little taste of the action skill here. Alright.
Queen wants her head!
Days you hunt.
So yeah, I didn't even have to be aiming at that person's head. I can now tell my pet what I want,
Never ending.
who I want them to attack.
And you're the mule! Screw you, mule!
Nice fighting, killer.
Alright, we're talking to Lilith again.
All right, we got a foothold. Maybe things are turning our way. Come on, killer, you're with me. Let me catch you up. A while back, we found a map. Led to vaults all over the borderlands. Dream come true, right? I didn't realize how big of a target it would make us. We got attacked and the map was lost. I've been looking for it ever since. This way. I was so focused on finding the map, I didn't notice that Pandora was changing. The bandit clans used to just murder each other for fun. Now, they're all under one banner. A cult.
The Children of the Vault.
Right. Come on, let's take a look around. Their leaders are the Calypso twins, and their followers worship them like gods. They're convinced the map will lead them to something called the Great Vault, and they've been slaughtering anyone who gets in their way. We heard a rumor that a bandit clan found an alien artifact in the desert. Could be the map. That's what we're here to find out. Locked. Not gonna keep a siren out, though.
Way to take down Shiv, recruit! I knew you had it in you! I'll stand guard!
Perfect. What do we have here?
Kill! The Sun Smasher clan has recovered the sacred vault map! Send our followers to invite the Sun Smashers into our holy family! And hurry! The twin gods grow hungry!
The map. I knew it. We have to beat them to the Sun Smashers. I'll open the gate.
All right.
Come on, this way.
I'm gonna go ahead and head out. So we're winding down here on about the last 10 minutes. These opening moments are
I have need of you, beast.
pretty tutorial based, I would say.
I'm gonna set up camp and gather some intel on the Calypsos. Find the Sun Smasher war chief and do whatever it takes to get that map.
Seems like you guys got this. Good luck. I'm gonna go hang out in some trash.
The other cool thing I will show is that the map is now in full 3D. You can see where the higher points are on the map for your objectives, which is excellent.
So what are we working with here? Well, let's play.
The other thing is that as we get further down the tree here, you'll notice that there's kind of like two odd-looking spaces that haven't been filled in yet, almost like they're ranking marks on a military uniform. And these are passive skills that and abilities that you'll get later on for filling out your tree. They automatically unlock. You don't have to put any points into them. It's just when you get to that tier of the tree, you've got enough points that it moves down to that portion. These new passive abilities unlock, and you can essentially lock them in on top of all the other passive skills that you're putting points into. And they have different behaviors, like for instance, Fade Away no longer ends after flak attacks at the cost of critical damage. So the Fade Away, and it says the Fade Away duration is reduced. So basically, you can shoot as much as you want while you're in Fade Away, but they're reducing the duration of it slightly, and the automatic critical hit damage is also reduced to like only 25% of what you would normally get for that critical hit damage. So, but there are other things as you go down. There are things that enhance your pet. They make your pet a little bit better, as you can see over here on this side. Yeah, it's kind of just a really
we got at the moment.
basic overview of the skill tree. The important thing is, I think,
Belly gets that ship working soon.
is to really look through your skill trees, possibly even before you start the game. They have a free skill point like tree you can go at the Borderlands website and pre-spec a character. and you can really see all the trees in their full value without having to sit here and kind of mull over what you're gonna do. Because a lot of those skill trees will, the other skill trees will relate back to a skill tree you're working on, and you can kind of start to weave in and out and pair those skills together. It's really cool. You use one tree to basically augment another tree, and vice versa. That the other tree will augment back that same skill tree. You just have to look for those skills that are pairing up nicely. So I think we're gonna rename my pet. I'm gonna call him. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Pew Pew because he's got his little gun. At least for now, until I can think of something better.
For I am beauteous.
And there we go, Mr. Pew Pew. And I can pet Mr. Pew Pew. Apparently he likes to grab his butt when I do that, so it's not awkward at all. Alright. Then we got time for one little side quest here, and then I'm gonna have to get off and head on down to chemistry. Delicious. Alright. Let's go ahead and pick up this side quest.
How am I supposed to profit off this war-torn... sell premium weapons to heroic vault hunters such as yourself? Let's fix my vending machine. And by that I mean, you fix it.
Alright. So, the other nice feature is our main quest is right there. You can now just toggle freely between missions, which is something you didn't get to do in the other games. You actually had to go into your menu and select the missions and kind of see where you were going. In the given area, now you just have a really quick, easy way to do it.
Damn psychos, always scavenging to make their buzz axes and meat bicycles. You'll need to replace that circuit with something. You know, some skags are chock.
I like to know who I'm working with. What made you decide to be a vault hunter?
Death calls me across the stars to hunt the living and send them to her. I am her knife, and I must forever hone myself. The vaults are the ultimate hunt, and so I am here.
Vaults attract all kinds. Just remember, the power inside them is hard to resist. It's up to us to make sure it doesn't end up in the wrong hands. Trust me, I've seen it happen. Damn it! That's the Sun Smashers' camp, and it looks like the COV got there first. Don't let them leave with the map, killer.
So
You found a human spy.
I was just doing that for Marcus's quest.
Give it a try.
So, the interesting thing about this is that the spine was a plus objective on Marcus's side quest, and when you do a plus objective, you get rewarded with an added reward. And I'll show you here in a minute when we finish this. So let's go hunt some skags.
Strike now, beast!
So when I mark Mr. Pew Pew to go run over and do his thing, he actually does increased damage while that Sikkim skill, so to speak, is active.
More! Too many to count!
What do we have here? It's like another Hyperion shotgun, but it's slightly better damage.
There's one of those shock skags now. Get its spine.
that's cool. So it tells my pet to throw a barrel of some kind at something. It's pretty awesome.
Go on, pick it up. Hope you don't mind handling visitor.
Alright. Like I say, all the Hyperion guns do that.
Very good. Bring it back to the machine. And be quick about it.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and end this on the last couple minutes here, just getting Marcus's side quests turned in, and then I'm gonna take off.
Okay,
So
now install the spine.
we'll put the human spine in first.
That bandit spine's not actually gonna work. I just wanted some payback because those bastards broke my machine. Still, I appreciate your dedication to capitalism. You've already got a shock skag spine. Try that. It will work much better, I promise. Well done, Vault Hunter. Now you have access to my vast array of murderous wares in a new convenient location. And as an added thank you for dishing out some vengeance on those filthy bandits, let me open up my secret stash for you. Who says payback doesn't pay, huh? Good hunting!
So yeah, as you can see, if we hadn't have done the extra objective, we wouldn't have gotten the secret room, but now we have the secret room. And the reason we wanted that is because these chests here, they're red chests. They're scattered all across every map in very hidden places, and they tend to have some pretty decent loot in them. So our highest shield here is going to be a 182. That one returns damage. I think I'm going to save this. We're not going to be able to use it to level 5, but this one has some fire resistance on it, so it might be kind of advantageous to have that for a little bit. And then we'll go plug our skill point in. So let's see, we've got maximum health increase and regenerate health constantly, lowered cooldown and increased damage on my attack command, or after shooting an enemy, gain a stack of Furious Attack. For each stack of Furious Attack, handling and gun damage are increased. Stacks decay after a few seconds, so that's a kill skill. Oh, that's just for shooting an enemy. Never mind. That's cool. So that kind of stacks up to 10 times. So I'm kind of thinking, at least at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do the attack command cooldown for Monkey, because him tossing that barrel at things is pretty awesome. And he tosses radiation barrels. So radiation is essentially what Iridium did in Borderlands 2. It doubles the damage on an enemy that's basically been coated with it. So it also has a damage over time tick on the enemy. It's kind of slow, but it does do a small amount of damage over time. I think that's going to be it for this morning, guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Just kind of wanted to give you a little foray, do some explanation of some basics, non-spoilery type stuff. And hopefully I'll be able to do this again sometime. It's been quite a long while. I know Thanksgiving's not really around the corner per se, but it's coming up soon. So, anyhow, yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all next time, and we'll see where this whole flak playthrough ends up going. I'm really curious to see exactly what this Vault Hunter is capable of compared to the one that I'm playing currently. So have a great day, and see you next time.